Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. I know you're seeing a lot of me today, but we've got a lot to do here. As part of my most recent delivery product unboxing, I got Lord of the Rings: The Dice Building game from WizKids. We're going to crack this open and see what's all in here. We actually got a sneak peek earlier when I was doing the delivery unboxing because this was part of Jester's box. And he actually left a note in there to look in here for something, and this is where I found the 2022 season of Data-Driven Football. So, let's start off with the back once again. I hear a lot of rattling around, and that's why we're going to unbox this now. Middle-earth is under attack. Sauron's forces include vile orcs, hordes of goblins, the mighty Ringwraiths, and more. Standing between Sauron and the one ring he needs to complete his tyrannical plans are a few desperate heroes. Hobbits, small in stature, but stout-hearted, may be the key. Gain glory for your people as you travel through Middle-earth and work together to defeat Sauron to save the people of Middle-earth. Let's crack this open and see what's all in here. We've got the rule book, which we'll give our cursory thumb through to. We've got our bags, which I'm going to check. They're a little snug for my hand, but I think they'll work. We've got 4 bags. All of our loose dice, as you can probably see, those are not going to stay loose. I'm just figuring out how I want to deal with those. Then we've got the cards are all already open. So we've got the locations deck, the enemies deck, the artifact deck, probably more artifacts, it looks like. Oh, we've got a card for Gandalf as well in here. More artifacts. Merry and Pippin. Okay, so those must be our characters. And the basic deck. So it looks like for the characters, we've got Smeagol. I'm probably going to... Smeagol and Gollum. Arwen. Aragorn. Éowyn and Theoden, Legolas and Gimli, Faramir, Boromir, Merry and Pippin, Treebeard, Gandalf the White, and Gandalf the Grey. So a wide variety of characters. I'm surprised Frodo and Sam aren't in this game. Then we've got our tokens. We've got our color markers. Looks like Eye of Sauron markers, most likely. Score tracker, not double-sided. The play area for Sauron, double-sided with art. And looks like the player mats. And those are double-sided that way. So we're going to get this out of the way for the time being, while I figure out how I want. We're going to look at the rule book, and then I'm going to figure out how I want to store the dice. So bear with me just a second while we get that out of the way. We'll take a look at the rules, and then I'm going to figure out how I want to store the dice. I have a feeling what they actually are for in the rule book is going to tell me a lot about how I want to store them. Okay. Looks like we've got 97 dice. 5 Fellowship of the Ring Sauron dice, 5 Two Towers Sauron dice, 5 Return of the King, so it looks like you're playing through the trilogy. Then we've got our artifact dice, then for the Fellowship. Okay, of course that's going to make it harder to separate those out. Okay. All right, this actually is going to make it a lot easier for me to tell what's what. So, I think, anyway. Okay. Seems like it's going to be pretty straightforward, though. And all of that. Okay, so let's go back to our... Let's go back to that so we can start organizing these dice. Okay, so it looks like we've got They're a little bit smaller than typical as well. I'm just going to run them through the dice tower off camera. Yeah, they'll run through fine. So we're going to start grouping these dice roughly together. Some of these are going to get very heavy, though, I'm sure. Let's see, we've got 2 towers. Yep. That's not going to be part of this. That's going to go a different way, I think. Let's see, so we'll bring this back in while I'm organizing everything in here. Looks like we've got Brown Fellowship dice. Let's go back to the list here. So we should have 5 of each movie dice. So 5 there. Should be 1 more of these, which is right here. So I'm going to put these in here. I'm just getting a few cups organized. So okay. All right. So now those are going to go in a. Those need to go in a different cup from the looks of it. Those go in the same one. Looks like these go together from the looks of it. That goes in here, here. And I think this is, oh, this is probably telling which character is which. So these, I don't suppose there's an icon on the characters that'll tell me whose dice are whose. No. Well, actually, I take that back. Looks like there are die faces for each character. So we'll have to use that to tell our characters apart. Okay, that's actually a little bit more helpful. Looks like that's probably Treebeard. So that is presumably for these dice. So that looks to be Treebeard. Then we've got looks like these are probably Smeagol dice. There should be 2 more of these, I thought. Oh, here we go. 3 and 4. Okay. Then we should have Gandalf the Grey, probably. Actually, I don't think these are Gandalf the Grey. Okay, that's Faramir and Boromir is these. Let's see, looks like I'm sorting out character dice here. So we've got, those are, where are these? These are, oh, it looks like we do have, looks like Frodo, Sam, and Bill are actually in here. Okay. So these are for who? Okay, looks like these are for Legolas and Éowyn. Then we've got these dice for, looks like these are my Aragorn dice right here. These are probably Gandalf the Grey. Looks like we've got our Eye of Sauron dice. How many of these are there supposed to be? Looks like there's supposed to be... There's supposed to be a one-ring marker as well, which I didn't see in here. Oh, it's buried in with the... It's buried in with the corruption markers. That's why I didn't see it. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks like more Gandalf dice from the looks of it. Actually, I'm going to start pulling Sauron dice out as well. Put those to the side. Looks like that's more of that. Let's see, 5, okay, that's a Sauron die as well. These are for, looks like these are for the Sting, which is one of the weapons. It's one of the artifact weapons. Looks like that's another weapon die. So it looks like there's 5 dice of that for some reason. One of these probably shouldn't be, that's a corruption die. And then I think the rest of these are the rest of the Fellowship. As Jester stops by, thanks again for the delivery. I just cracked everything open. I saw everything rattling around in here, so I wanted to get this dealt with and organized right away. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There should be 3 more dice like this. No, there shouldn't be. Looks like these are probably the Samwise dice. And I'll get a bigger bowl. I do have a bigger, what I call cup in here. But I can use that for the Frodo dice. As some of the dice go flying, but it looks like everything's on the table, so that's not a big deal. Anyway, that's the bottom of the box, so now we'll go ahead and bag everything up. I think I can probably use mostly my 2x3 size for these dice. If you're watching the unboxing video, glad it finally arrived with all the goodies. Yeah, I did manage to get all the goodies out of there. Glad you left a note in there to look in this box. Although that's kind of part of what set me off in a bit of a panic to get this unboxed and organized early. So just wanted to get this dealt with as fast as I could. But I'm going to go ahead and organize everything here. Just because I'm more than a little bit of a control freak like that. What can I say? So these can go back in here. We can get the rule book in as well. Let's bring the bags over here. I imagine most of these 2x3 bags will be plenty for most of the dice in here. The only dice they might not fit are the Samwise dice and the Frodo dice. Okay. Yeah, it looks like... Yeah, this shouldn't be a big problem at all. I'm guessing my box the box I sent you should have been waiting for you today as well. I've been keeping an eye on tracking for that over the last few days. So that should be waiting for you to probably unbox, probably not too long after I sign off here. At least I hope it got there for you today. This shouldn't take too long to go through all of this. Okay, come on, there we go. Let's see, it's a cool game and system, but you're not a bag pulling guy. That's fair. All games you have with a bag pull, you pretty much don't like except for Bullet Heart, except you're pulling chits for damage. Well, I'm probably gonna put Bullet Heart and or Star on the channel again at some point this month. I've just got to figure out when I want to do that. And there's definitely still looking at today being the 9th, there is still a lot of December left. So I imagine that's going to hit the channel at least one more time. Once I started figuring out what the hell I was doing with that one, I definitely started liking it a lot more. Okay, looks like I need 3 more bags in the 2x3 size. Nope, not that. These dice. For data-driven football, you sent the dice as well. I saw that. Ordered a second set for yourself and decided you'd send me the extra so I didn't need to track some down. I appreciate that thought. That definitely will save me some trouble of having to track down not only the set, or not only the dice, but all the other components. I do need to hunt down the rule book though, but I think I've got a copy of the rule book lurking somewhere in my files. Because I know I downloaded a sample of it, but I needed to get a hold of the dice somehow, so I didn't really do much with it at that point. But it's definitely something I'll look into now. Okay. Alright, so that's all done. But I need two more bags here. I think this size will do for the this size should do for the Sam dice. It absolutely won't fly for the Frodo dice, though, I'll tell you that right now. So let me go get a bigger bag for that. I know I've got something I can use over here. I don't need to go nuclear with it. This should work. Actually, this one I know will. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now we can get everything back in the box. Bag up the cards again. Oop, and I put everything in the top of the box again. Whoops. I thought that was the bottom for some reason. I think I put the top, or I put the bottom off to the side, intending to start everything in there, but of course, I didn't. That is everything in the box for Lord of the Rings, the dice building game. A lot lighter when I actually get the 2022 season of data-driven football out of there. So that's everything in the box there. Next time we come back on stream, we will be playing Let's Play Tennis by Play Games. I definitely need to take a dinner break, though. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.